Welcome back to Gamer Guide Channel. I am Wraulin in Robocraft, and also known as Reed. And this episode we're going to be looking at two things. One of them is the Blackstar, which is a tribute vehicle I made for David Bowie's recent passing, named after his title album track, Blackstar, and something that's based off an older design I did before they changed up Robocraft, which was the Solar Stream Racer. And this one is also the similar star design, but also a little bit better now because it doesn't need a pilot area and has a couple other improvements as well. A lot of fun to play, and something I thought I'd show you before we get started on the patch notes, which are going to be coming with the delivery of the lock-on missile launcher and improvement to arrow wings and railguns tomorrow here to Robocraft. So let's go ahead and go through some of those things. First thing is the Blackstar, which I will put out on the market, of course, in the free colors, so you don't have to use GC or be premium to be able to rent this robot. I will go ahead and strip off the guns and stuff too to make it a little bit easier to purchase. But Blackstar is a sled bot. It has 3 turning skis and 2 regular skis in the back and uses all thrusters on the underside. It's basically, top plate is entirely separated from the rest of the body, making it tougher against plasmas and SMGs and stuff, especially from flyers. And it's a lot of fun to play. It is a heal bot. It has 8 of the nano cannons on it, and then also has a Tesla blade on every arm of its star. So I did add skirting all the way around the bottom, and then on the connection point on each of those arms, I connected it to the front and back side of the star, and then covered the entire top with that layer of prism plating. If you're not familiar with that, it's just basically, like I said, a layer of armor that separates from the rest of the craft, except for the outsides where it's connected to the hull. Anyway, so that's it. I figured we'll watch a couple games of Blackstar play. If you're interested in this robot, of course, you can rent it from the CRF. I've had people asking me, hey, are you going to do another Electromantis series? I thought about it, but right now the hovers are in such kind of a poor state that I prefer making sled bots. So I might make some new sled bots, sort of like this, and some different designs and stuff. So look for that in the future. But let's go ahead and talk about the patch notes now. So we'll start here with the obvious new excitement for the new weapon, which is the lock-on missile launcher. Launcher is going to be able to be purchased with RP or GC, so meaning you could either pay real cash for it or the in-game currency you earn from winning fights. The launcher has a 2-second lock-on period, and once locked, it will shoot a full barrage of missiles, which will move towards their target in the most direct line possible with a slight turning arc. So you can fire this straight up in the air and it can arc towards the enemies, or you can fire it directly at them, and if they're moving, it can follow their path. So a couple different ways to execute that. The missiles will be fired without a lock. They can be fired without a lock, in other words, but are inaccurate and unguided when done so that way. So you can continue to fire them even before you get a lock, but you just run the risk of missing. The targets of the missiles will be informed that they're being locked onto and will be shown the direction of the enemy. So if somebody is targeting you with those missiles, you'll know where they are on the map, and you'll know that you've been targeted, so you can take cover if you're trying to avoid a lock. 2 seconds is, a pretty good amount of time. If you're out in the open, you're going to be out of luck, but if you're near a rock or something, certainly enough time to get behind and take cover from an enemy. Let's see, the launcher deals 37,000 damage per missile and can launch up to 6 missiles at once with a full load. So that's interesting because it means that not all the other missile launchers on your robot are going to be firing missiles at the same time. You're just going to have one operating, and it will fire all 6 of his missiles, as each of the launchers has 6 missiles in it. So any extra launchers you add to the robot are just going to be for redundancy alone, which is a good idea somewhat, but you don't want to overdo it. But at 275 CPU, which I know that they're going to be, it's going to be hard to put more than 4 on, or 3 really, without totally making your bot gimpy. So I'd recommend 2, I think, right now, just kind of coming off the information I have on this, and then beefing out your robot the best you can, maybe putting some extra movement thrusters and stuff on it. It's going to be good to be fast in this with this particular weapon, I think. A full load isn't necessary before firing in, so missiles can be shot consistently without having to wait for the full 6 to be ready. So if you wanted to continue to fire just one to continually volley missiles at somebody's face, you can do that now with the new rocket launcher. The launcher weighs 34.7 kg and uses 275 flops, which I already kind of mentioned. Let's talk a little bit now about balance changes here to the game. One of the big ones is rail damage has been improved, 22% across the board. So the most basic rails, all the way up to the top of the line, high-end rail guns are all going to get a little bit of a buff, which is good. I know from a lot of people's perspective, rails are really just a supporting weapon. They can knock things out of the sky, but they weren't really doing much in the way of killing people unless you were waiting for the right moment for someone else to get them down, and then you were going to take the kill shots. So this way, I think rails are going to be a little more attractive to people. The basic rail went from 20,127 damage now to 24,480, so that's that 20% boost. The top, the eraser rail, went from 36,998 damage up to 45,000 flat, so that's a real nice improvement, I think, for rails. We're going to see a lot more of those in the game. Another improvement in the balance was for airfoils and rudders. They've been improved across the board. The basic thing is they've taken the larger wings and improved the health all the way across the board. The rudders on the lower side got a little bit of a nerf, so if you're using the low-end rudders for like your little blocks flyers or your drones and stuff, they're taking a little bit of a hit point nerf. The Hawk, which is a real popular small rudder, basically the smallest rudder you can get, got a 22% reduction in health, so it went from 4,465 health to 3,472. So if you're using the wimpiest little rudder inside of your robot, you're going to be a little more cautious now about losing those to a plasma blast or something. Whereas the larger wings from that same Hawk level, the first level of wings, got a 74% improvement. So that went from 4,871 to 8,487, which is a nice little chunk of health added to it. And at the top, with the biggest rudders and airfoils, they both got an improvement. So if you're using the tier 10, that used to be called, or the top level wings, the Albatross, they went from 10,801 to 10,000, well, really no change at all. The Eagles got a small improvement, so 8,108 to 8,294, so a little bit of improvement. No change on the biggest rudder, the Albatross. However, the biggest wings got 104% increase, so more than double the original health. So they went from 11,370 up to 23,145. So if you're building a large robot that has lots of wings on it on the exterior, I think it's going to be more viable now than it used to be with that double health increase. So stacking wings definitely could be a thing in the future. Even for stability, you might consider using the larger wings now if you can fit them somehow on your robot. They are more of a pain in the butt to put on there, I admit it, but it could definitely be worth it with that health improvement, and even kind of act as maybe some extra armor. Let's talk a little bit more about improvements here. Arrow flak shots now target the center crosshairs rather than shooting straight ahead, so they're more accurate than before. The mothership, new super advanced AI will remember if you had mirror mode active before entering a battle, so it can be active upon exiting a battle. So before, if you had to always turn on mirror mode and you hated that, you wish mirror mode would just stay on for your robots, well, now it's going to be on. It will remember what you did last. If you were right in the middle of building a robot and had to come back, and you get started and you forget the mirror mode's off, yeah, that's happened before to me. They added a color strip has been to the plutonium towers at the connection point. So that should be interesting. It should make it easier for people to know exactly where to shoot to disconnect all the crystals. Major optimizations have been made to improve the frames per second whilst robots are taking damage or receiving healing. So hopefully this game is going to run a little smoother for those of you who have a system that needs that extra love and attention because you have a lower end CPU or graphics card. This should be a little bit of an improvement for you. Profanity filters have been improved, I guess. And robots in single player mode now display the robot's name rather than its creator's name. Okay, that's cool. And then robots in single player will no longer have their weapons locked in awkward directions. I didn't know that was a thing, but I guess it is. Certain parts of Mars have had their shadowing improved to remove the twitch effect. Never noticed that, but I guess there was a twitch effect on Mars. You guys might have seen that, but that's been fixed now. All right, fixes. Let's go through. There's a lot of fixes in this. So I don't know if we'll get through them all. I'll just try to read through this as quickly as possible here. Fix a bug with log on screen that could cause infinite loading when hammering enter after inputting an incorrect password. Fix an issue causing profanity to be filtered from a person's typing it when it should be filtered only for other players. Okay. Fix a bug which could cause robots to disconnect parts and continue functioning as though everything was still connected. Fix a bug which caused players' wheels to appear to be locked in the opposite direction when the player is turning. Fixed a bug which caused RP and GC earnings from selling your robot on the upload robot menu to appear to be 30. Fixed a number of connection issues with the corner slope, which were blocking legal connections. I've had that happen. That was annoying. Fixed a mirror issue with the electroplate F left. Don't know which one that is. Fix a texture on the inside of the electro shield, one component. Fix a bug which caused the text to be undeleted in chat is open before entering the CRF. All right, fix a bug which could cause a player to be stuck in a platoon when their invite is declined with declined all. Fix a bug which could cause a player's camera to be far higher than it should be when using mech legs. Fixed a misaligned scroll bar in the cube depot inventory. Fixed a bug which caused walker legs to not align correctly with the floor under circumstances. Fixed a further memory leaks. Fixed some misalignment on the link with Steam prompt on the login screen. Fixed an issue with the BA timer, which caused the numbers to shrink and expand depending on the numbers shown. Fixed a collision on the left side of the Rhino mask, so it's more accurate. Fixed a collision on certain rotors as they were able to clip through armor cubes. I didn't really realize that. Fixed some minor collision inconsistencies with higher level hovers, and fixed an issue stopping the not enough GC dialog from appearing when purchasing a cosmetic. Fixed an issue which occasionally caused players to not see the Tesla impact effect when being hit, and fix a bug letting players lower than 50 not use colored text. Fixed a bug letting players lower than 50 use colored text. So I guess if you are under 50 now, you're not going to be able to use colored text. Didn't know that was a bug. Let's see. Fix an issue stopping the... Oh, I already read that. Fixed various graphical issues related to the 2-minute leave menu. Fixed a bug causing platoon members to get stuck in a platoon if the member leaves the platoon while queening. And fixed text from the left mouse button and right mouse button descriptions in the keyboard key bindings menu. Fixed the order of wheels in the cube depot and inventory, and fixed a bug which caused an incorrect error to be shown when attempting to add someone set as not accepting friend requests. And finally, fixed a text of the Mark III and Mark IV SMG so that they now have the markings on both sides of the gun. Alright, that's interesting. Got a little featured bot on the patch notes here from Zircon showing one of the walker leg robots with those brand new lock-on missile launchers on it. Something I thought about doing it too. I think something with those walker legs, the spider legs, and then able to fly too would be really pretty cool. And I have a couple robot ideas for that I might be playing with myself for tomorrow's patch, but you can expect to probably see another video coming out for Robocraft tomorrow, as I'm going to be around and I want to try out the new rocket launchers along with everybody else, and also interested to see how those sniper guns are affected, and of course the aerofoils too. So I'll probably use something with a combination of those rocket launchers and aerofoils, I'm guessing, in one of my more recent builds. Guys, thanks so much for joining me here at the channel. If you would take this time to subscribe if you're new to the channel, I'd appreciate that a lot. And thumbs up this video too. That helps me kind of know you guys are engaged and you like watching this stuff. And let me know what you think down in the comments below about tomorrow's upgrades. Are you looking forward to the rocket launchers, or do you think that it could possibly be a problem? I've kind of thought in my head that it could be kind of a downer in a way, because you're going to be long-range fighting with people, hiding behind rocks and jumping out and popping them. And the big open maps, especially like the canyon, or impact crater I guess it's called, it should be kind of interesting, because you're going to be able to basically fight people across the map without having to even have the accuracy associated with just a sniper gun before. So I'm kind of interested to see how it changes the game. I know it's not going to be a super powerful impact weapon, they say, but it does have the tendency to hit the same area at the same place on a robot, so it can detach parts of the robot pretty easily, even though it's not doing a lot of damage. So it should be interesting to see how the missile launcher changes the dynamics in a Robocraft. But I am looking forward to seeing the new weapon. Of course, anything new to the game I think is always a cool buzz, and it will attract more players to the game temporarily at least. So it's a good thing, at least in that aspect. But as far as a long-term dynamics of gameplay in Robocraft, it's kind of yet to be seen if it's going to be a good thing or it's going to be kind of a bad detraction from the game. So anyway, we'll find out here in the near future. But until next time, guys, take care, and thanks for joining me here on Gamer Guide channel. Later!